You know, it's darkness. Getting towards 11 p.m. 9th of July 2022, summer. Summer in Scotland. But it's winter in Australia. And actually just now in Australia the sun is shining. Different time zones. Time apart. You know, that's an electric light. Electricity comes from power. It was Michael Faraday actually that developed electricity. Eon power is French. It's nuclear. France is a nuclear state. 70% nuclear energy. You know, nuclear energy produces radiation, but it produces power. Light when the sun doesn't shine. That's worth thinking about. It's also worth thinking about the inverse square function. I mean, you can look that up on the internet. Type it in. Research it. What is inverse energy? We know radiation is bad, but I mean, we should always keep learning. I mean, that is STEM. Science, technology, engineering and maths. I mean, there's radiotherapy. Targeted treatment by radiation. It targets specific areas of the body. I mean, patients can develop really severe side effects, but not all patients get them. I mean, really, doctors need to listen to patient feedback, solicit feedback from patients, speak to them, engage, try and work out why. Keep doing research. Investigate the underlying technology. Nuclear. I mean, radiation is bad. Linked to EMP bombs, electromagnetic pulse, first reared its head in the Matrix. EMP bombs can block out all electrics. Shut them down. Electromagnetic radiation. Well, radiation, computer monitors can actually be, the data on them, the information can be picked up with radiation detectors from a few miles away. I mean, this is the technology that underlies radiation. That's an electric light. Light in the darkness. What's actually underlying the technology in electric lights? Radiation, X-rays. Well, electricity came from Michael Faraday. Electric light. Is there radiation coming off that light? I mean, the sun is not shining. This is summer in Scotland, around 11 p.m. It's sunny in Australia. There's still radiation coming from the sun, beaming down in Australia. It's dark. Michael Faraday, electricity. The inverse square function, worth investigating. Needs more research. Really, that's what young people need to focus on. I mean, bananas are also a source of radiation. They're a radioactive fruit, like polonium-210 in cigarettes. Lots of people smoke. Less these days, more wildfires increasing. But bananas are also a radiation. You shouldn't eat too many. Eat too many and you might get adverse reactions. But still, bananas are quite good for you. Everything in small doses. Anyway, STEM is important. Science, technology, engineering and maths. And physics is the realm of possibility. Linked to the cosmos also. Understanding outer space. This is science, I guess. Science underpins everything, how stuff works. Engineering is linked to science. There's electrical engineering, civil engineering, like building bridges, and mechanical engineering, like building motor vehicles, electric cars. Electric cars have electrics. Micro circuit boards now in cars, that's silicon. coming from sand, like the Sahara Desert, Africa. I mean, the world's all connected, and it's digital, underpinned by sophisticated electronics and digital networks and communication with clock signals, clock rates, and Cisco routers, the backbone of the internet. I mean, convergence really happened, convergence of digital technology. This is nighttime, electric light. I mean, there's nothing to film, but I'm just talking about electricity and radiation and nuclear and expanding the horizons. We need to keep researching. Young people, fire them up, motivate them, make them curious. The curious mind wonders, the wonders of outer space. Satellites beyond the clouds, the International Space Station. I mean, there was a space race. English is the language spoken on the International Space Station, with Chinese, Russian, European and American astronauts working side by side, multi-faith. Quarter past 11 at night. Quarter past 11 at night, 11th of July 2022. This is sheep. They're not sleeping. They're awake. After 11 p.m, the sheep are active. What happens at night time? The sheep are on the move. Night time in the West Hill countryside. I mean, sometimes you see David Attenborough out at night. Things happen at night. The owls come out. The barn owls. You know, bats fly in the dark. There's actually a big cave around Mexico filled with bats. The underworld. Bats tend to live in caves where it's dark, feed on cockroaches. This is the animal kingdom under the world. Well, this is above ground. Sheep in the West Hill countryside. Well, they've stopped moving, but they're alert, attentive. They don't have ADHD. No, they're quite still. What are they doing? Huddled together. Is that for warmth? I mean, global warming is said to be happening. But these sheep are huddled together. I mean, this is Scotland, not Australia. Summertime in Australia? No, it's winter. Winter in Australia, but it's sunny just now. This is summer in Scotland. Let's just be clear. 11th of July 2022. It's night time in Scotland. Daylight in Australia, though. And it's sunny. We have lights here. Electric lights. Power. Some of it's provided by E.ON, the nuclear energy provider. 70% energy in France. Nuclear energy. It's a nuclear state. All that nuclear energy in France. Just across the English Channel. The sheep have moved. But they've huddled together. They've got off their feet, come together in a like a huddle. Huddle was actually a tablet device by Tesco. Tesco pioneered the huddle. It's discontinued now. Some tablet computer devices just don't last. They just don't stand the test of time. The iPad first came out around 2010. Around 12 years old. But the iPhone was in 2007. It was before the iPad. It rivaled the BlackBerry. The mobile phone with a keyboard. This is technology education from the West Hill countryside. Along with the natural world. There's no owls here. No to-wit to-woo. But you know, you can dial 282820. That's a number for looking up phone numbers. 282820. Sounds like an owl. That really started off the BTU's. What's the number of BT directory inquiries again? It's 6 digits. It used to be. The operator used to be 000 actually. That's the emergency number in Australia. No, the operator wasn't 000. That's the emergency number in Australia. What was the operator? BT changed the number. It ends 500. I mean, it gets complicated because the number for looking up to find out phone numbers, they're 6 digits now. I mean, I don't use it. I've never used it. I mean, you can look up numbers online. It's 118500 actually. It was 192 before that. Remember? 192 was the directory inquiries. But BT changed it to 118500. But there's 118500 is the BT directory inquiries, but there's rivals like 282820. Sounds like an owl tweeting. There's other rivals. There's other ones. 118 BT, and then there's 282820. All these numbers, you can use them to find out the numbers of people and businesses, like directory inquiries. It's a competition service. Directory inquiries became more competitive. This was Ofcom, the telecoms and broadcasting regulator. They sought to introduce more competition into directory inquiries. I mean, remembering the numbers is not straightforward off the top of your head. But I mean, I've recalled them. 118500 BT directory inquiries used to be 192, and there used to be people, telephonists, that answered the phone. It then went automatic around the 1970s, doing away with operators. That was automation in the telecoms industry. Think back to the days of the call girls on the switchboard. They would answer the phones within seconds. That was Mum's job. Telephonist. Start talking. It takes her a lot longer to answer the phone these days. I mean, usually she doesn't get to the phone in time before the messaging service comes on. And then people hang up and they don't leave messages. So, I mean, you got to phone back, but people tend not to leave numbers. Some people withhold their number, so you can't call people back. I mean, this is all a problem. So you get these cons, and half the time the people that phone, they say that Amazon and Microsoft trying to con people, telling you that your Amazon Prime subscription is actually due, and you're due to pay £80 when you don't actually have an Amazon Prime subscription. I mean, this is real life. Oh, the sheep have all moved. They're huddled around the water trough. Actually, let's just check if there's any water in the trough. I mean, these are sheep, living animals. Important to check on animal welfare after 11 p.m. at night. I seem to be out here. There's no one else around. It's quiet. Any water in the trough? We need to check on animal rights at night. Sheep. I can't really see the trough, but maybe I can zoom in. Any water in it? They're not drinking. I don't think there's any water. They need water. Who's left the sheep out here? They came to the water trough, but there's no water. Animal rights. What about the RSPCA? Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. I mean, that's Tesco along there, West Hill. This is West Hill, the West Hill countryside. This is McDonald's, the drive-through. You can see where I am. Video shows me where I am. This is animal suffering in the West Hill countryside. Who's the farmer? Who owns this patch of land? I mean, really? Cruelty to animals? It's happening. West Hill. Oh, there is water in the trough. There is water in the trough. I can see it now. The sheep have moved away. The light's shining. The sheep were kind of blocking it. Zooming in didn't really help. I can see water in the trough. It's not cruelty to animals. They're not drinking. Why aren't they drinking? Why have they huddled around the water trough? There is water in the trough. I can see the water. But I mean, just inspecting, making sure the sheep are not being neglected is an important job. And that is the job of the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Now that's England. In Scotland you've got the Scottish Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or something like that. No, it's the SSPCA. Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. The RSPCA is in England. I mean, you got all these government quangos. I mean, really. That's the problem with Scotland versus England, and it's going to get worse when you got Scottish independence. You want Indie Ref 2? I give you all these quangos. I mean, duplication. I mean, I guess duplication. It makes things less efficient, but actually you've got more jobs. I mean, we can all do duplicate jobs. That's the policy of Nicola Sturgeon and the Scottish Government. All of us doing duplicate jobs, repeating. Yes, inefficiency, that's the Scottish Government. That's the heart of the Scottish Government. Inefficiency and bureaucracy, tying civil servants down. No animal neglect here. But I've checked on the sheep. Animal welfare is important. Well, this sheep's about to drink. This is the 13th of July 2022, and this is actually Kingsford School on Spring Hill Road. Spring Hill Road, not Springfield Road, which runs past Craigie Butler Church. It actually runs down to Deeside Drive, really, which leads across the green space onto Auchinyell Road and RGU Garthdee campus. Okay, this purple plant, Google Lens app can't identify it. It identifies it as flower. The same plant's growing on the outskirts by Dobby's Garden Centre on the Lang Strath. Bear in mind, Dobby's used to be located on Hazeldean Road, actually, near Hazelhead Park. It was there, the garden centre. It moved, keeping track of changes. Actually start talking about something specific, and you may recall memories from where they used to be. That's like relative symbolic links, in a sense, connections pathways through the brain, connecting these neurons. So relative symbolic links. Talking about Dobby's Garden Centre. You know, actually, it's school holidays. I was just going to go round the outside of the school, but I mean, there's no one here. This is the playground. Kingsford School. This is the one with the nice garden. The memorial garden. In honour of the young child that died due to heart complaints. But let's just, you know, come up close to this building, and it's not great attractive in a sense. Another flat roof school from likely the 1980s. Concrete walls, big stone blockwork at the front. What's it? I have no idea what it's made from. I'm not into construction. I just use visual inspection and common sense. I guess that's all you need, really. Walk once a week. Complete the travel tracker. Please walk. Switch off your engine when parked. What are they putting out? Be kinder to the engine, and be kinder to your car and your children, and be kinder to your planet. If the car, actually car engines, some of them stop and start. When you stop at traffic lights, the engine cuts out. That's the high-end ones, like the Mercedes. That's been on the go now for over a decade. That kind of technology. But I mean, the children are just writing about it now, 10 years later, as electric cars are coming into being. But the first electric car, well, not the first, but really the Nissan Leaf is an interesting one. First developed in 2010. If the car in front of you has their engine on, and you have your engine on, you will suck all of the fumes, then you keep passing it on. I mean, actually, children's handwriting is quite neat. My handwriting was neat as a child. The French teacher at secondary school commented on it, saying it was very neat. I mean, children are still doing handwriting, producing works, creative works. I mean, this is not, even though they've got, Aberdeen City Council gifted them Chromebooks for free without a Wi-Fi port in this stone masonry building. I mean, Wi-Fi might not work in here. Patchy Wi-Fi, that's more likely. Kingsford School. But coming close to the school is interesting because the children put up information. It's the school holidays, but teachers object to people coming close to schools, coming into the playground. Maybe understandably, but actually teachers are responsible for the care of children. I mean, it's their job on the line if someone gets abducted, but really, ever since Thomas Hamilton, school doors were locked, but there's information on the windows. I'm not entering the school. Thomas Hamilton, Dunblane, I won't mention any more details. Let's not upset people. A car parked with their engine on produces more fumes than a moving car. You've got to consider people's points of views. Even though a head teacher is responsible for the overall safety of pupils and responsible for schools. 50 balloons get filled with exhaust fumes when you were idling in 30 minutes. 150 balloons get filled. Well, that goes back. So what are the children learning? Are they learning about helium? Helium balloons and airships. They could travel for 60 hours, an airship, without having to refuel. That was in times gone by. I mean, what's happened actually is as technology has advanced, the world's become dependent on fuel, aviation, fossil fuels. But airships could go for 60 hours without refueling. They were slightly slower, but you could still make progress. Significant progress. This is how events were tracked in times gone by. I mean, that's a light up there. It's not CCTV actually on this school. It's a security light. No CCTV, just security lights. I mean, it's broad daylight, so they're not coming on. Security lights are timers and are sensitive. Is that to prevent people hanging around at night? Well, I mean, it's daylight up until about 10 AM at the moment. Well, I thought it used to be 11 AM in summertime, July, or maybe June. Are the nights really closing in? Is the sun really losing its power? These are all questions. But I mean, it can still be 24 hours of daylight in Shetland. Certainly in the Arctic in summer. At midnight it can be daylight in Shetland. The Shetland Isles. Further north there's the Faroe Isles. Still part of Scotland. And then they're actually between, the Faroe Islands are between north of Scotland and Iceland. Iceland's not far away, and it can get volcanic eruptions from geothermal activity. It's worth coming back to this garden. I'm not sure if I captured it previously or if I just cycled past quickly. But it's worth coming back to it, because actually this is the bench, the buzz bench, to infinity and beyond. It's the bench to Gerard Summers. This is Kingsford School. It's worth bearing in mind actually that teachers don't like people going close to schools, but when it's school holidays there's no one around. But actually going around school sites when children and teachers are present, actually that can put people on edge, and it can also bring to the fore the importance of, well, bring to the fore the attention of 6-7 weeks summer holidays when no one's at school. It's really a blockwork building. Stones, big stones, masonry and concrete. Kingsford School. I mean, it's not granite, but still Wi-Fi signals would likely be hard to penetrate really through that. Perhaps. Or maybe not penetrate to the outside. Keep them contained within the building. How well does Wi-Fi actually work within the building? There's an issue between fibre networks guided by light signals and Wi-Fi. What works better? But still, actually, the buildings between the walls within the school are literally made from plasterboard. That's not the same as the outside. Who does decorating or DIY? You wash the walls with sugar soap when you're painting. I don't know anything about the construction of buildings. There's children at the school playing in the playground, having a good time. School's shut. There's actually play equipment in the playground, a slide. School holidays, the children like to come to school. And where are the teachers? I mean, really? Oh, they're on holiday. Oh, they've gone to Spain. Or maybe somewhere else. The Mediterranean, talk about 42 degrees at the moment, or projected for Monday. This is mid-July, midsummer. The children come to school. That's Shedixley for you. The children in Shedixley, Kingsford School, they're committed. Good families here in this area of Aberdeen. The police might not see it. But I mean, really, the children come to school, the young ones. They're keen to learn, enthusiastic. But where are the teachers? Well, it's 7 week school holidays now. It used to be 7 long ago, but then it went down to 6. But now I believe it's back at 7. I mean, teachers, it shows the teachers really like their holidays. Time off. Is that to do marking? When actually people engaging with teachers online, if you do an online test, the results are available instantaneously. I mean, there really is a lack of... That relies on forms, PHP, skills in coding, on behalf of web programmers. But I mean, Aberdeen City Council are not embracing this to really help the teachers make more efficient use of education. I mean, this really is a big problem. I mean, even in 2022, Tesco only keeping data for either 28 days or 6 weeks on transactions. I mean, that's an issue with cases going to court. Shoplifters getting away with crimes. The Procurator Fiscal only keep data for up to 5 years for sheriff cases. The police say history matters, but I mean, if you're not keeping data, how can you realistically have a fair defence? And how can someone be brought to justice when data on suspects is not really kept? I mean, take the Police National Computer, built on technology with ageing staff from the 1970s. Well, the issue around here is that the Police National Computer actually doesn't give the police a lot to go on. It's more random data. I mean, it tells you how many crimes someone has committed, but there's no context, no meaningful context in a sense. You need to take ownership of data, be open and honest. The Police National Computer, no meaningful information on context. Why a crime's committed. That gets argued in court. But I mean, after a period of time, when people start suffering health issues, they're going to struggle to remember. This really brings to the fore the importance of retaining video, talking on video, providing narratives, context, to replay it, understand why you went somewhere, what's happening, and connecting all the dots, the symbolic links, the relative symbolic links, that links neurons in the brain, connections. That's what neurons are. Anyway, this is Kingsford School, and this is the area. Well, let's have a look at the houses. Harling on the wall. Well, they're council houses, or they started off as that, but then Margaret Thatcher introduced the right to buy, so some might be private ownership. Difficult to tell what's in private hands and what's council houses in public. 2,000 council houses are being built across Aberdeen at the moment. Some in Kincorth, some in Tillydrone, and probably in other parts. But I mean, you see these ones with handrails. People have adapted their property. They might have council permission. You can often tell homes that have been bought by people. They're the ones that are painted a different colour, are not uniform to an extent. I mean, look, this is Shedixley. Barbecues and play equipment in the back garden. Slides to entertain the children. And this is Kingsford School from a distance. Go up close to the door, the entrance. There's writing on the windows to greet the person that approaches it. The children are welcoming and friendly. But I mean, teachers. The children have come to school actually, playing in the playground when the teachers are on holiday. It's the teachers that don't like people being near schools because there's ratios for adult-child supervision. A lot of primaries have nurseries in Aberdeen, and for nursery children there is ratios. So you need, get near a school age and you need one adult to every 8 children. And it's not the teachers that are in the playground actually supervising the children, preventing them getting abducted. And really, where is Madeleine McCann? The toddler abducted in Portugal. Alguido for police in Portuguese. Garda in Ireland. Polizia in Italian. All these different languages for police. And then there's the numbers. 999 in the UK, also 112. 112 across Europe. 000 in Australia, 911 in America. All these different numbers. International travel. You need to really buy travel books before you go travelling. But nowadays there's ebooks from Amazon, and the Amazon Kindle screen, like a paperwhite, it's got a special screen that you can see outdoors in sunlight. Long-lasting battery life, unlike traditional or modern tablets and smartphones. Amazon Kindle, the paperwhite, really built for outdoor screen reading on the beach. But I mean, it might not actually be practical on the beach. I mean, it's designed for it. But people like to sunbathe and swim. And then, in the last couple of years, this is 13th of July 2022. In the last couple of years in Scotland, paddle boarding has been increasing, as is wild swimming. Going into the rivers, taking a dip. Why is it increasing? Is it a dip to cool off because of warmer weather? Or do people just be like being outdoors swimming? Because the swimming pools were closed actually in a pandemic. All the swimming pools were shut for a year or so. Scottish Government policy. These houses are better brickwork. More look like private homes and council houses. This is Spring Hill Road. Spring Hill Road near Tesco Wood End. Yeah, these houses must be private actually. Better built than these ones. Look, they're council houses. You can tell the difference. Aberdeen City Council. Cheapskate. Everything done on the cheap. They've been doing it for decades now. You want to work for a council? It's a laid-back culture. Private firms are more incentivised with commercialisation to really invest and innovate in staff skills training. I mean, you don't really want to work for a council, not a council in Scotland. Because, well, it's a comfy job. Laid back. But you need to think about your life and your long-term projections. Trajectory. If you want real prospects, make a difference with your life, you're better off in the private commercial sector, where firms take staff training seriously, invest in skills, invest in people. You really want a laid-back council life that builds homes that really don't look attractive. You want modern, sustainable builds that trap in sunlight with solar panels. You want to make your home feel welcoming. Be proud of where you live. I mean, there's attachment with a place, attachment with your home, sentimental. But actually, the houses might not look great, but this is a nice area. It's built nice around the school, with all the trees and the open green spaces that really let you see for a fair distance. Open spaces. Some people are claustrophobic, fear of spiders as well. The claustrophobia is some people are fear of enclosed spaces, indoor spaces. But I mean, there's the opposite. Some people are scared of being outside. People need to try and conquer fears, confront them. Live, because life is precious. The gift of life is everything.